In this episode, we're going to talk about America's favorite vegetable, at least to grow in their garden, and that's the tomato. Tomatoes are going to have to be planted after the last frost. They do not tolerate frost, and they really like warm soil and air temperatures. The tomato is gardeners' favorite vegetable to grow for several reasons. First off, they're just downright good to eat. They go with many different things in many different ways. There are literally hundreds of different varieties of tomatoes. There's yellow ones, there's red ones, and everything in between. It's great to can tomatoes and use them all year long. One thing to really remember about tomatoes is they're going to use a lot of water. Tomatoes need to be watered deep, and they need to be watered pretty often, more often than most other things. You're going to have to either start the seed inside or buy pretty big bedding plants when you go to plant your garden. When we talk about how productive the tomato is, you can see here these tomato plants have cages around them. These tomatoes are going to grow up, and these cages are going to support them because there's going to be hopefully so many tomatoes on there that will need that support.
Over the past year or so, we've had more tomatoes than we can eat. Purple ones like this, and Romas, and little red ones, yellow ones, and orange ones, and they've all come from rotten tomatoes. So today I'm going to show you how you can take rotten tomatoes and turn them into more tomatoes than you can eat. You want to start when you got these tomatoes that are cracked or even a little bit moldy. Don't throw them out. What you do is you get a pot full of soil. In this case, I just use pure compost from my yard, so this is all from yard waste. After about a month or so, it breaks down. Take your tomato, you just squeeze the seeds like that, and cover them up a little bit, so you don't have to do much more than that. And that's it. You just water that daily, and in about a month or so, you start seeing little tomato plants like this, or like that. When they get to this size, then you just stick them in the ground.
Now, a lot of people usually buy the typical traditional round tomato cage. I don't have one here to show you because to me it's a waste of money to buy one and not use it. I don't like them. I think they're useless, but some people do find good applications for them. Good for them. What we build is these cages here made out of weld wire, rabbit wire per se. Some people want to call it chicken wire. While it does the same job, this is rabbit wire, and they call it rabbit wire because you can see at the bottom they're exposed at 1 inch, and then they graduate to 2-inch exposure and up to 3 and up to 4. That way it keeps the little rabbits from getting in there and chewing at the base of your plants and screwing up your whole growing season. I can buy a roll of this stuff for about 15 bucks at your local hardware store. Comes on a roll like this. Now I've already made some cages out of this last year, so the good thing is it hangs around for the whole season. Very simple to make. All you need is a pair of pliers and a roll of this stuff. Let's take a peek. What I do is I unroll this, and I think last year I went about 15 courses, and what I mean by courses is each square. So here's my tie seam here. So I'll go, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So basically, I will take this roll here and I will roll it out and cut it at 15. But there's a trick to it all because you got these tails left over, and these are your tie back tails. This is what you use to tie back to the other side to make the cage. It's very simple. Now it's time to start counting and cutting. I'll start from back here on my left, which would be your right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now I have my tails hanging out over there to tie in, so I'm going to cut on the outside. You'll see them fly up here in a minute. Alright, we've got our wire, and naturally it's going to spring back to its original form from being wrapped around the main coil all this time in its packaged shelf life. But as you can see, I've got a tail and an opening. This is where I cut off the main reel, and this is where I left off at the last time. So it's just just a matter of hooking them through. Some people just pull them back and leave them like that. You can. And you do that at every joint. Just lay them over for now. We'll tighten them up in a minute. There you have it, folks. Tomato cage 101, $1 tomato.